Hi, this is Mita, and you guys are listening to Bluntly Talking. This is our first episode on the podcast, and I'm here with my co-hosts.
I am Musica.
And I'm Noodles.
Hi, you guys. Welcome to Bluntly Talking again. Thank you for being here. To our humble abode. As you guys can see, look at this beautiful vista. This is beautiful, you guys.
Mm-hmm. It is. I wish this was a real place.
It is. In my mind, it is.
No, yeah, like, I'm unfortunate people, like, if... I know this is actually a real condition, too, like, if you let your mind wander off to, like, a creative fantasy, and you'll get stuck in that, like, zone. And I know that's an actual real illness, too, don't get me wrong. But I'm definitely those people, like, if I am allowed to let my mind wander off like that, I think I would do that. But I am, unfortunately, the clear-minded people that's like, no, I can't be thinking like that, so I have to, be a somewhat productive member to society.
Yes, definitely.
However, I am going back for my college courses again, so that is a plus for me.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yes, for next semester.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, you guys, I have a question. To start off this, I guess the topic of the podcast today, but I have a question for you ladies. Did you guys ever want to become ballerinas when you guys were little? Like, was that ever even, like, just a little bit of a dream?
When I first saw them, because I do remember in elementary school, they took us to the Aggies where they showed the Nutcracker.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a nice little production that they did, and honestly, it was very cute. And I did kind of want to do it. I remember, like, I'm not sure if you remember this song, like, I would always try to stand on my tippy toes at home. Because I remember, like, we actually did talk to them for a little bit, and they told us, like, if you're able to do that, or, like, somewhat get on your tippy toes, or close enough, then that meant, like, oh, then that means, like, you were made to be, or something, like, along the lines, like, it was, like, in your path of your life. And I tried so hard, and I just couldn't, and I was like, okay, I'm not a ballerina. I just got over it that fast. I went on to other things to be interested in.
Right. Aww. Your ballerina dreams were crushed.
Yeah, but I got over it. Like, that's the beauty of, like, being under, like...
A kid.
6... Yeah, like, being a kid.
Right.
Like, under 10 and shit. Like, you got over shit really fast. Unless, like, you're really deep in... Which I had to say, like, was Pokemon for me. Still is.
Well, what about you, Noodles?
Being a ballerina per se? No, not really. I think I did want to become like a dancer, but I quickly learned that I have 2 left feet apparently, so that dream was crushed pretty early on.
So for me, it's so strange because that's so cliche, right? Like, every little girl wants to be a ballerina when they grow up. But I guess I'm a little bit of both of you guys. I'm in between. There was like that, yay, I want to be a ballerina when I grow up. But then kind of like, yeah, I never really had that ballerina body even as a kid. So remember that scene in Hairspray, when God, I forgot her name. What's her name? Oh my God.
Which one?
The main character of Hairspray. Tracy. You know when she's getting interviewed by Corny Collins and he's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she's like, I want to be the Rocket or the first woman president or whatever. And he's all like, and what are you going to do when you get into office? Because really short and she's chunky, you know. So he's like, "There's no way you're ever gonna be a Rockette," you know. There's like more of a chance that you're gonna be the first female president. So it
But
was
she's still good.
no, of course, way better. Sorry, but way better than that. But it was kind of like that for me, right? But I've always had this fascination with ballerinas. Like I don't know, and it's also kind of like creeps me out the way they can do that with their feet. And I love watching movies. Like I love the movie. Was it Black Swan? Is that the name of the movie with?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about. Oh my god, like I love that movie. And I've seen there's documentaries. There's documentaries on Netflix about ballerinas. I mean, I love it because it does fascinate me, like the way that what they can do with their bodies and just all of that.
It's so funny because I remember like one of the first movies I saw that had to do with ballet.
Mhm.
Like it was a scary movie, and I think we have it in
Oh god.
DVD. But I don't even remember the name of it. But it was like these two best
Oh!
friends that were both in this ballet class, and they were both competing for this one spot. And I remember that like the scene where her friend is performing, and you're seeing her perform, and all of a sudden they like have a close up of like her standing on her toe, but like
Ugh.
her foot is bleeding. And you're like, oh my
Yeah.
god, what's going on? And it like does like these like cutbacks to where her friend got her slipper and put glass in it
Oh
right
my
before she
god.
performed. So while she's performing, and you can see where she starts like looking like she's in pain, but she's trying so hard to like keep a straight
Oh
face.
god.
Oh my god, like it was.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
that was,
so
like,
it's
one
not
of
the
the first
movie I was
things I
thinking
seen.
of, because I know of another one, and it's an old one too, and it's called Suspiria.
Mhm.
And again, it has to do with ballerinas, dancers, and it's like an old witchy coven where they picked, because like they're trying to find the best of them, and the reason for that is because their leader, she's gonna try to transfer her soul into that one to carry on the coven, because apparently if she dies in the mortal body that she's in, then the coven dies.
Mhm.
Oh.
And I think they did a remake with that too, not that long ago actually, I think a couple years ago. Look it up, like Suspiria.
Mhm.
And I remember we saw the original one. I forgot where. I want to say it was either in class or I happened to have seen it one time. Like I want to say either on Peacock or somewhere, and I was like Peacock or Hulu, one of the two, probably
Mhm.
Peacock. And I was like, you know what? I want to see it because I remember there's this one scene where when she's dancing, like the new girl, she's there, she's dancing, um, and again, it's like I had to admit, Mom, you're right. Like some of the moves they do is like pretty out there, but as
Yeah.
she's dancing and everything, there's this other girl who gets trapped in like this mirror, in this mirror room. She got in there by accident, but like there's a bunch of mirrors around her. And she's trying to get out, and she's pleading to get out. But as the girl's dancing, like she's mimicking the moves, but but her room is like kind of, the mirror room is slightly smaller. So every time she kind of like, the girl dancer kind of goes towards one of the edges, she's actually slamming her into the walls. So like,
Oh
while she's
wow.
dancing like normally and everything, the other girl, she's literally getting thrown around, getting hit, broken bones, and like she's bleeding, and she's like slowly being danced to death.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Just dancing her to death.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so this is why when I first heard about this, right? I think I first came across this topic on Instagram. And somebody posted about Ballerina Farm. And I thought that was interesting, right? Because when you put those two words together, they kind of like don't make sense. Or they do, but it's kind of like, actually, I think that would make a great scary movie if you think about it. So I was kind of like, what is this about, right? It went so fast that I kind of like blink and you miss it type of thing. I really
Mhm.
didn't. I kind of like paid attention, but like half, not really. But there was something about that story that I was like, I need to revisit that because I don't really know what it's about. But the name was kind of catchy. But I want to tell you what I found out because it's not what I thought it was. So there's this woman named Hannah. And Hannah, just like well, again, not every little girl, but, a little girl who wanted to grow up and become a ballerina. And, she came from humble beginnings. And right now she has a TikTok. For all intents and purposes, she is getting a lot of, she has a good following. And her
Mm-hmm.
content is mostly of cooking food from scratch in a farm. And she has 8 kids. She lives in Utah, and her husband, his name is David. She was interviewed with, she was interviewed from a magazine, I'm sorry, a newspaper, The Times. And this is what, I'm just going to give you guys the highlights. So it says, he was 23 and she was nearly 2 years his junior. So what, 21? And they were
Okay.
introduced by a mutual friend at a college basketball game. He says, I saw her and I was ready to go. Sign me up. I was thinking, let's get married. But she wouldn't go on a date with me for 6 months. Wow, 6 months. One day she mentioned to Daniel that she was getting the 5-hour flight from Salt Lake City to New York back to Juilliard. That's another thing. So this girl, Hannah, right? She comes from humble beginnings. She wanted to become a ballerina. And she actually went out and started doing the work, right? Because it's like you said, Musika, you kind of wanted to do it. You went to this musical thing or whatever, theater from school, and then you kind of tried it, and then you were told whatever it is that you were told. Which, by the way, I hate that people do that because we shouldn't tell people you can't do that. Even if, like in the movie, I want to become a rocket. Well, you shouldn't because you never know. But anyways, so Hannah was, she made it all the way to Juilliard, which is such a hard school to get to. She was in Juilliard, so she told him, you know what, I have this flight going from Salt Lake City to New York, going back to Juilliard to school. She didn't realize his dad owned an airline. So Daniel was like, well, I'm on the same flight. She says, I remember checking in and then saying, you're 5A and you're 5B. So he literally made moves so he could sit next to her. And I'm reading this off, sorry. So I just thought, no way, that's crazy. Daniel smiles. I made a call. He had pulled strings at JetBlue. And so began their first date. His father is the owner of JetBlue Airlines, by the way. Back then, I thought that we should date for a year before marriage, she continued. This is her speaking now. So I could finish school and whatever. And Daniel was like, it's not going to work. We've got to get married now. After a month, they were checks on the animals. No, she says, I was like, she pauses. My goal was New York City. I left home at 17, and I was so excited to get there. I just loved that energy, and I was going to be a ballerina. I was a good ballerina. She pauses again. But I knew that when I started to have kids, my life would start to look different. So she was a ballerina at Juilliard and got scholarships because of how great she was. Can you
Mhm.
imagine? Like, you're so good. That's how good you are. Like, she not only, get this, guys, like, she went to Juilliard, right? And I didn't know this, but she actually won the title of Miss Utah, and then
Really?
went and got the title of Miss America. And then she won the title and went on to compete for the Miss World.
Wow.
Like,
Dang.
what? Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Okay.
So then, right? Okay, so we drive past. Okay, so now I'm gonna finish reading this little article. We drive
Mhm.
past the dairy cows, looking out across the river valley and the arid mountains beyond. Was this what she always wanted? I asked when we get a moment alone, while Daniel checks on the animals. No, she says. I mean, I was like, my God. My goal was New York City. I left home at 17 and I was excited to get there. I just loved that energy and I was going to be a ballerina. I was a good ballerina. Back then, I thought we should date for a year before marriage. So I could finish school and whatever. And Daniel was like, it's not going to work. We've got to get married now. After a month, they were engaged. After a month of like him pursuing her, like finally, their first date, after a month, they got engaged. 2 months after they were married,
What a jump.
moving into an apartment Daniel rented on the Upper West Side, and 3 months after that, she was pregnant. The first Juilliard undergraduate to be expecting in modern history. Our first few years of marriage was really hard. We sacrificed a lot, she says. But we did have this vision, this dream, and Daniel interrupts. We still do. What kind of sacrifices? I asked her, the journalist speaking. Well, I gave up dance, which was hard. You give up a piece of yourself, and Daniel gave up his career ambitions. I look out at the vastness and don't totally agree. Daniel wanted to live in the great western wilds, so they did. He wanted a farm, so they do. He likes date nights once a week, so they go. They have a babysitter on those evenings, but he didn't want nannies in the house, so there aren't any. The only space earmarked to be Neil Men's owns, a small barn that she wanted to convert into a ballet studio, ended up becoming the kids' schoolroom. They do have a cleaner, but no childcare, and she does all the food shopping, kids in tow, and cooks from scratch. They don't do ready meals. Despite the more traditional aspects of the relationship, Daniel is a hands-on father, taking the kids out to the farm and doing all the laundry. The children appear to look after each other quite well too. There are so many that they seem to have become an almost self-sustaining entity. Still, Daniel says that Hannah sometimes gets so ill from exhaustion that she can't get out of bed for a week. She also gave birth to them without pain relief. None at all? She shakes her head. Why? I ask. I don't know. I just have never loved taking it. She stops herself. Except with Martha. I was 2 weeks overdue and she was 10 pounds. And Daniel wasn't with me. And she lowers her voice more. Daniel is currently out of the room taking a phone call. So I got an epidural and it was an amazing experience. Where was Daniel that day? I asked. Well, it was shipping day for the meat boxes, and he was manning the crew. But the epidural was kind of great, I asked, and she pauses and smiles. It was kind of great. So that's how that one ends. And I'm like, wait, what?
8
So
kids and only one epidural. Oh my god, I can't even imagine.
it sounds more like right there, like because he was out for that one pregnancy, and she was like, okay, yeah, no, fucking give it to me. It
Yeah.
sounds like, okay, like he was there, and like if it was out for it, it was like, no, she has to do it naturally.
Mhm. And I was
No,
like,
oh my god.
so first of all, I'm thinking like, and okay, I do want to say this, right? There's nothing wrong if somebody wants to be a wife and have kids and stay at home because I've done it for many years. There's nothing wrong with that. This is not what this is about because that's not what sounds like, right? Like that's not what it sounds like. I mean, she flat out says she was living out her dream and she was doing it. And she didn't even want to date him. It took 6 months. And then she said, okay, fine. I'll marry you. Like, let's get married, but let's wait a year. Nope. I don't want to wait a year. Like, right off, he was like, it's me, let's do me. You know? Like, literally, let's do me. Now, the reason that it became viral also, let me backtrack a little bit, was because the TikTok that became viral, it was her birthday. And if you see her, it's called literally Ballerina Farm. That's the name of her TikTok. And so it's her birthday and she's excited. You know, oh my God, it's my birthday. And I thought, oh, it's, farmers. I don't know. In my mind, I don't see as farming a luxury or like you're rich or anything. But apparently, well, first you see her and she's like, oh, I'm so excited. And somebody asks her like, what do you want? Or what do you think you're going to get? Because her husband hands her like a package. And she says that she would like to go to Greece. Now, okay, I think someone like me or you guys to be expecting like tickets to Greece is like, whoa, calm down now, You're not a Rockefeller, you're not a Kardashian. Because, we don't have that kind of money. Come to find out, like, her husband does. Like, they are rich. He's worth over $400 million. You know what I mean? Like, they're rich. Okay. So she's like, oh, I would like to go to Greece, whatever. Okay. But when she opens up this gift, it's a freaking egg apron. First of all, I didn't even know those existed. Obviously, I don't live in a farm. Yeah, I was about to ask you, do you guys even know what an egg apron is?
I know what an apron is. I don't know what an egg apron is.
So, it's an apron, right? With little pockets to put eggs for when she goes out to the farm and like gathers the eggs. It's to put the eggs in there. And this apron is crocheted. Like it looks something that you would find at like a garage sale or something. And she opens it and she looks happy. She's like, oh, it's an egg apron. Yay. I'm like, oh my God. And it's like, what? Like he might as well given her a broom, a mop and a broom on her freaking birthday. And then when you realize that this woman has 8 kids, cooks from scratch every freaking day, doesn't have a nanny, takes care of them, farms, I don't know, whatever it is that farming entails. Again, if this is a life that she wanted, awesome. But it doesn't seem like it's the life that she wanted.
Yeah. She seems, she seems happy, but like honestly, like if she's that tired to the point where even her husband says that she needs a week of sleep, of rest. Like
what?
Really?
Like what is that?
Are you truly happy with that? Like,
and like don't get me wrong, if that's what they like,
yeah.
I mean, if she loves cooking, great. But clearly she loves dancing. She was like, can I just have a barn? Like, I want a barn where I can dance. He couldn't even give her that. Like, sure, you can have a barn where you can dance. Oh, but you know what? We have 8 kids. Oh, no. Take the little barn away. Now it's a schoolhouse. Are you telling me you don't have enough money to build her a little room where she could dance? It's selfish. I don't know.
Now, honestly, the whole story from start to here, it sounded like him stalking her.
Yeah.
Like, he literally straight up said that when she said no to him, like, I imagine, like, several times. First of all, she said no. Second of all, it's like you said, like, he came from a very well-off family. It's like, he doesn't have, I imagine it's like, oh, okay. If she's not his ideal kind of person, move on. Find someone else who would fit that. But no, he's determined to, like, no, I must convert her to my ideal image. Like, why? Like,
Yeah, would people be thinking like, yay, if he wouldn't be the son of the JetBlue airline, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're right. Who does that? Oh, you're
no,
on
yeah,
this flight? Like, I'm gonna get this flight too?
and I hate when people say, oh, that's kind of cute. It's like, no, that's very stalkerish. Like, also imagine, like, if it was reversed. She's stalking him, he probably would have like, been like, okay, either stop it or I'm calling the cops.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone probably people will probably also call her like a gold digger right there because of that. And instead, it's
Right.
like, oh, it's cute because here's a very well-off man going off a not well-off girl. Like, first of all, like, freaking classism right there. And third, again, like, oh my god, that just pisses me off.
Yeah. Now, had you guys heard about this before? Like, before, like, you know?
I remember I saw one to talk about it, and it just showed like her doing like a few ballerina like circles, like right next to a freaking cow fence. And I did think at first, okay, I'm telling you, the first one I saw, like, it really was like that. And I was like, at first I thought like, oh, great, it's a bunch of farmers who maybe she wanted to be a ballerina or a dancer and like, I don't know, couldn't or didn't reach it. I didn't know she actually did go to Juilliard and everything. That's something new. But I didn't pay much attention. And the few times that I did see, you know, look kind of nice, look kind of cute, but like it didn't really catch my attention that much. The only thing I thought, if anything, I just thought like they looked like they were acting, showing like, oh, good times and like being all like happy and, you know, like very upbeat about it. I don't know. It just looked very weird to me. So I just like, meh, click.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard about it. Of course, I'm a creature of habit. I'm always on TikTok. So
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok, I saw one that was saying, oh, that Ballerina Farms is like a perfect example of like the trad mom lifestyle that everyone has been talking about. It's the side that no one talks about. And so, like, it goes on to explain about how, you know, that at the end of the day, it's you're doing everything, giving up everything to make your man's dream come true, basically.
Well,
And
what
so
I was
me,
gonna say, can you give what does trad wife mean?
yeah, so it's basically like uh, traditional wives, basically. So like, it's the wives who would, you know, stay home while their husbands go and, you know, make the money, and they'll clean up the house, watch the children, you know,
Thinking
cook
back like the
anything.
50s,
Yeah,
like
basically,
iconic
like,
50s wife. Okay.
yeah. And it's one of those, like, they were always the supporting role to their husband. Like, whatever
Yeah.
the husband wanted to do, like, she was there backing him up, basically.
Right. Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
like, that's what she is now. But
Mm-hmm.
me, like, when I was hearing it, I was like, like, I wonder what it is. So, like, I looked into it, and I got the same article that you were just reading off, and I was just like, oh, like, this is okay. And I looked her up, and I didn't see that video, and I wish I would have seen it, but I just saw the same one that Musica was saying. That it was like her in a farm doing her ballerina twirls, and, you know, but it was one of those, like, it was breaking down the, like, look at her eyes, like, you can see that she has, like, really bad baggy eyes, like, you can tell that she's tired.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was just like, oh. So, you know, getting the information about her attending Juilliard. Like, when I found that out, I was like, oh my, she gave that up? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess, like, if that's what she really wanted, then more power to her. Like, the only thing that, like, really worries me is, like, the fact that she's so tired.
Right.
Like, she really can't take a break?
Well, and here's the thing, right? So, you know me, when I find something, it's like the universe conspires into, it leads me down into down this rabbit hole, right? And that's exactly what happened with this. So, right after, like, I was watching all of these, TikToks and Instagram, and I was reading articles about the Ballerina Farm and all this, I saw this other TikTok, and it was a Spanish one. And at first, I was like, what is this guy talking about? And he was basically saying, he was like, everybody is here, everybody is talking about Roro. And that is what caught my attention. Because of the word Roro, right? I was like, what? This guy was like, everybody here is always, all the guys are saying that that's how women should be. The way Roro is, like, Roro is like the epitome of womanhood. That's how women should, and I was like, wait, what? Like, who's Roro, right? And then it's like, and women are hating on Roro. So everybody is fighting with everybody. And so at this point, it's like, he caught my attention, because I'm like, ooh, this is going to be good. Like, now I want to know who Roro is, what's going on. He's like, but what you all don't even understand, that Roro isn't even real. And I'm like, what? Right? So now I'm thinking, well, what is going on? Like, I have no context. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who Roro is. Like, I just know that Roro is, it's a controversy that men are saying that Roro is like Wonder Woman and women are hating on it. So I'm like, I'm going to go down this rabbit hole and I'm going to go find out who Roro is. And literally, you guys can go look her up. It's on TikTok and it's Roro, Roro. First of all, I will say it was not what I was expecting. I look her up and you see it's this, cute girl / woman. She looks to be maybe about early 20s, but she looks really young. And I think she's from Spain. She has a Spanish accent and she's speaking Spanish. She's a brunette, long brown hair. She has glasses. And she's, speaking in a really sweet voice. And she's cooking from scratch. And when I say from scratch, I don't think I've ever seen anybody cook from scratch like her. She literally is going outside, and if she's going to make jam, she goes outside and she picks the strawberries, and she picks the blueberries, and she picks whatever it is that goes into strawberry. I mean strawberry into jam. That's how much I know about cooking, people. Like, she was making, I don't know, the one that I saw, because I even showed it, I showed one to Noodles, because I'm like, look at this shit. Because the TikTok started off with, like, I'm going with my husband, we're going to go see his family, and my love language is food, so I'm going to cook something for them. But I started off breakfast with dessert. And she literally goes outside and she picks a lemon and she picks raspberries, I think. And she starts making, like, I don't know, it turns out fucking delicious. Some cookies, I think. And, like, I'm telling you, from freaking scratch. And then she ends up making these burgers. I mean, I half expected to see her hunt the thing. I think that's all that was missing. But she made the bread. She made the freaking bread. Anyway, turns out that Roro and her husband, it's fake. They actually work for a marketing, and hold on, I'm going to look it up because I also have that here. I have it here handy, or I did have it handy.
I have it in my handy dandy notebook.
I had it on my handy dandy notebook, and now it's dandy dandy gone.
Gone.
Here, I swear.
Likely story.
What did you think of that when you saw that where she's all cooking with that? I mean, like picking all the stuff though. Come on.
Yeah, when you were showing me all of that, I was like, holy cow, I want a girl like that. I'm
Like,
kidding.
will you leave him
Like
for me?
everyone, like I want a girl like that. Okay.
It was like, damn, that man is spoiled as hell. Like, I wish I had that. That was great. But no,
Yeah.
it really was like, when you showed me, even I was over here like, oh my god, is this for real?
Yeah. Okay, I
Like,
found
her own
it.
little thing.
So on her TikTok, it literally says she's represented by at Okiko Creatives. I'm sorry, not on her TikTok, on her Instagram. But on her TikTok, her link is to Instagram. So I went to her Instagram, and that's what it says. So she is represented by them. And Okiko Creative is an influencer marketing agency. That's what that original TikTok that I saw, that's what they were talking about. They were saying that, everybody is fighting, like they were saying, like the men are drooling, and apparently some women are drooling over what trad wives that are like, that are putting all the shit on TikTok that are making wives like me look bad, that are kind of like, look, we're doing this, we're doing that. And these men are like, look, this is what a woman should be like. And then women are over here like, oh my god, no, whatever. But at the end of the day, we're over here fighting and arguing over something that is freaking fake. It's fake. And I was thinking like, holy shit, what if Ballerina Farm is fake? Because, like, I don't know, like, the whole thing just seems kind of weird, to be honest. Like, I don't know. I guess maybe deep down, I want to think it's fake because it's so sad at the end of the day, like, it truly is. And then one last thing that I just want to add to this, and then I'll open the floor for you guys. You guys can give your opinion. But I found this. I don't know if you guys. The reason that I think it's fake, I feel like we go back to like they just want us arguing, and at this point it's like, well, we want you guys to even argue about this, right? Like the gender roles or whatever. I don't know if you guys know who J.D. Vance is, but he's the running mate Trump picked him to be his running mate for vice president. So he's the one that's currently running. And back in 2021, he did an interview in Fox. And right now, it's like, it's all over the news or whatever because he made a comment against Kamala Harris, who is right now running for president, who is the current vice president, where he said, let me see, and I quote, he said, we're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, and I think I said that wrong, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. Vance then mentioned Vice President Kamala Harris by name. And I'm like, what? Childless cat ladies who are miserable. Like, what? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm like,
how ridiculous. Like,
yeah. And then they're pushing this, like, people like Ballerina Farm, like Roro, and I'm sure there are so many others out there that I just did not want to keep digging, honestly, at this point.
I'm pretty sure.
Now, what do y'all think? What do y'all think about my rabbit hole that I went down this time?
First of all, I love your little connections, and I love how big and wild and out there they go. Not saying that not all of it won't, but isn't true or anything. I'm just saying, like, it's just
Yeah.
find it amazing how you considered 3 different topics, like, nowhere near connected in some weird way, and then you'd be like, oh, I can see how this relates to that, and then that relates to this, and it comes back full circle.
Yeah. Try being in my
And-
brain when that goes on.
I guess the first 2 ones that we talked about, which is Roto and the Ballerina Farm. Okay, so obviously with Roto, like I said, like, it's considered, oh yeah, already out there, like everyone knows, like it's fake, like it's just an advertisement, pretty much,
Yeah.
you know. And Ballerina Farm, I think it could be a weird mix of both.
Yeah.
Like, maybe not the full farm style life is real. Like, maybe some of it. Like, I could easily see, like, how you said, like, they do have a farm. And, like, they are somewhat running it. Maybe not themselves fully, because if it's that huge, they can't do it themselves. Especially with 8 kids, I believe you said she has?
Mhm.
Yeah, especially
8.
with 8 kids. There's no way in hell they could do that by themselves. Like, they could say, oh, the dad's hands-on. Okay, yes. But it's a huge farm. I imagine, like, especially with his connections and everything, I imagine he got a huge-ass farm. Not some 1 acre, 2 acre lot. I imagine it's going to be 4 times bigger than that. You know, like 4 to 10 times bigger. So, yeah, they're going to need help. I imagine they only show the parts where, you know, like, oh, they decided to show, like, them out and about, maybe checking up on it, and they decide, oh, this would be a good time to look at, to have us in and show, like, we're part of the farm, you know? I think how she could be looking tired is, like, maybe help keep it in running the farm, and definitely reining in her kids. Because 8 kids? Holy shit.
Oh my god,
I
yes.
cannot. I mean, again, like, we grew up with a Latinx family, you know? And I grew up with cousins having cousins around me, you know?
Yeah.
And
Cousins having
Cousins
Well,
having
'cause
cousins.
well, 'cause they're older than us. Like, I should say that right now. Our older cousins having cousins and everything. Anyways, so weird. Yes, I understand that. But, you know what I mean? Like, our older cousins having young cousins after us and everything. The times we've gone to, like, family,
We're
like,
Hispanic, we understand.
get-togethers. Like, the times we've gone into family functions or whatever, or just, like, hanging out, and the noises, the screams, and everything, like, even for me, again, like, even though, yes, I was a kid, but I only had 1 sibling, and all of a sudden, like, there's these bunch of other kids around me, definitely more than 8, but still a lot. So, for me as a kid, if I could think, oh my god, there's just too many children here, then I can only imagine, as a grown-up, those your children, it's like, I could only imagine how that could probably feel overwhelming. So yes, I could see how she'd probably be tired from taking care of her own children. You know, like, reining them in, feedings, their schedules, their classes, their tutors, whatever. Like, I could see how
that's
that could be a
another
lot of
thing.
work.
Oh my god, you're right. I didn't even think of that. Like, me, I'm thinking, oh, the cooking. But, like, the classes, like, they get homeschooled. Holy shit.
Like, I'm pretty sure they have a schedule that they keep, and she's the one who's like,
It's a
okay,
lot.
like, we need to get this done. Because they say there, too, that, like, the kids work on the farm. Like, they help out.
Yeah.
But I think she's the one who, like, household things, that's her.
Yeah. And it's like I said, hey, if that's what you want to do, great. Nothing against that. But it doesn't seem like that's what she wants to do. And again, going back, I don't think it's real. You know what I just thought about?
What?
Oh my god.
What?
Mushika, did we show you the picture? Did we tell you about the peach that we ate the other day?
Oh my god, no, what?
Okay, so we planted, it wasn't even me. I was just thinking, oh my god, I have my own treadway.
Oh my god.
When was that peach tree planted?
Uh,
Was it last year? Because it feels like
it was last year.
so. Last year, your dad planted the peach tree, and this
Mm.
year it's finally like giving like peaches. But the first batch they had to be picked because the birds were like picking on them, and but they were really small. But the other day, Noodles and I were in the front. We are just hanging out, having a little smoke sesh, and he came out a life-size peach. I don't know how to how to describe
Like a
it.
peach. He came out
Yeah,
with a peach.
a peach. And I thought that he had bought it at the store, and he's all like, "Look," and I'm like, "Where did you get that from?" And he was like, "That's our peach." Like it. Look at how it. What did he say exactly, Noodles?
Like, he was over here like, I got it off the tree right now. Like, look, it's actually perfect. And, like, it looked like it was fully, like, he said that there was, like, a little bit of green on it still, so it
Yeah.
wasn't complete. But, like, it was one of the furthest along, I guess.
Yeah, like one other one that looked
Then,
like right.
yeah, then he said that it, like, he, like, just got it before, like, the birds got to
Got
it.
to it. Yeah. And so he started eating it, and I was like, wait, no, take a picture. And he was like, oh my God, it's so good. So I guess he got another one, right? Or was that the same one that he gave us? I don't even remember.
No, he had gotten another one, but I don't think we ate that one.
And when I tell you, it was the best tasting peach I have ever tasted. I cannot remember. Probably back, I mean, I tell you, when I was a kid, back in my day, my dad, we had I don't know, are they called orchards? An orchard of peas? Pea orchards? Peach?
I have no idea what she's talking
Peas.
about.
We're talking about peaches.
I don't know why I mean peaches. I've been hitting this, okay?
Obviously.
No, what are they called? Well, we had like peaches,
Yeah,
peaches,
like you had a peach farm.
a peach farm. There you go. And I mean, when I was little, I mean, I think, but then my mom sold it. I think I was like 5 when she sold it. So probably that was the last time. But oh my God, Noodles, tell her how good it was.
It really was really good.
Delicious. So juicy. We took a picture of it. I was like, wait, let me take a picture of you holding it. Because I'm like, it's, the first actual peach that we're tasting now. But this was even before we tasted it. And so right now I was thinking when you were talking, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to post it and be like, my trad husband.
Oh God.
Trad husband. Pick my peaches. Wow. Oh my God. But
That's
like,
funny.
that's what I'm saying. Like, how ridiculous is that?
Yeah.
That's why I think that is fake. I'm sorry. Go on. Continue
I
with your thought.
was gonna say it had already been a few days that Ballerina Farm was talked about. I was always sitting over here like, it's odd that they hadn't said anything. Actually, she did reply. She put up a TikTok responding to what everyone has been saying, basically. I found an article that was covering it, and it basically just repeats what she says. So she basically put that how a couple of days ago there was a reporter that went to her house. She thought that everything went like really great, and how they've actually had other interviews, and that I didn't know. I didn't know that there was more, and I'm over here like, okay, well, where are those interviews then? But she goes on to put, we're taken back, however, when we saw the printed article, which shocked us and shocked the world by being an attack to our family and my marriage, showing me as oppressed, with my husband being the culprit. This can't be further from the truth. Nothing we said in the interview implied this conclusion, which leads me to believe the angle taken was predetermined. Let me see. And then the article goes on to say about how she believes in God and she loves her family, and that every day that she gets to be to do her chores and everything is like the greatest day of her life. Let me see. Oh, and then it finishes off by saying that she responded, "Together we have built a business from scratch. We've 8 children into this world and have prioritized our marriage all along the way. We are co-parents, co-CEOs, co-diaper changers, kitchen cleaners, and decision makers. We are one, and I love him more today than I did 13 years ago."
Hmm.
Okay.
And, in reading that, I'm like, of course, like, I can't imagine, one day waking up to finding all of this happening. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen the actual, because she did this response on her own TikTok. It's one of those, whether it's real or not, it just seems too sad to be real.
Yeah.
If this is real, and if this is something she wants, then, again, more power to her. But on the other hand, like, what a coincidence that Trad Wife was trending, and all of a sudden, all these stories are popping up, and now we just found out that, what was her name, Roro? Is fake. And she has it there on her socials and everything for everyone to see, and
Right.
but not everyone takes the time to go and look at that, to go and fact check themselves.
Yeah.
So for all intents and purposes, like, Ballerina Farms could be fake. Because I've told you, when AI came out, there was talks about how, like, oh, it's the wave, the wave of the future. And then all of a sudden, all these AI videos and all these AI images have started popping up left and right. And they're looking more realistic, and it's improving. Like, there are some glitches if you look at them, and you'll see that there are things that are out of place, or just doesn't seem right, or something disappears and you don't know how it got there. AI now is learning every day, is gathering everything off of anything that has to do with technology and improving itself. So it could be another, like, what if this is scripted and it's AI, and now it's a whole new story that we're just not seeing.
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna fact check that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Do we know who it was that interviewed them?
It was from the Times. I mean, I'm sure we could look it up. Let me see.
Because, okay, like, maybe you can do it like that, but at the same time, it's one of those, the government has lied to us.
It says
So
here.
why wouldn't they lie?
Yeah, it says reporter Megan Agnew traveled to Ballerina Farm to spend a day with Neilman, hoping to discover if her life was what she showed on social media.
How crazy would it be if it really was fake and there's all these interviews with Ballerina Farms?
I've told you, we should watch this, you guys. We should watch this movie. There's a movie called Simone. And I've told you, Noodles, about this movie. I don't know if you know about this movie.
Musica?
Musica.
Forget her name.
Yes, I did. I forgot her name.
It's okay, I got you.
It's because I was looking it up, so I could tell you what year it came out. This movie it's called Simone. It came out in the year 2002. Okay? So the reason it's called Simone, because it's Sim 1. simulation, Simone. That's why it's called Simone. And I've told you, Noodles, about this movie because I saw it and it was like, it blew my mind at the time. And I feel like it's one of those things, like they have to tell us before. Like they have to tell us what they're doing. And this movie is literally telling us what is going on right now. Because it's about this actress called Simone. And she becomes huge. Think of the biggest stars that are right now. Like who, if you could think of a big movie star right now, who would it be? Hello? Is this thing on?
Hold on, I'm thinking.
Both of you.
I'm like, I don't follow anyone.
Oh
I would
my
have to
God.
either say Zendaya, Tom Holland.
Okay, those are good ones. Me, for me, if I think of a movie star, I think Angelina Jolie. Like that's the first one. But Zendaya, that's a good one. Johnny Depp. I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Okay. So those kind of movie stars. So Simone in this movie, that's how big she is, right? She becomes. I don't remember because I haven't seen it in a while. I only saw it once. But she's a big star like that. But she's not real. They fake her. She's AI. But nobody knows. It's like this producer, I don't know if it's a producer or a director, and Al Pacino plays the director or something, and he makes her up. And there's actors, how can I tell you, like they play along, they think she's real, right? Like they make scenes, but they put body doubles. And they're like, oh, it's because Simone is not feeling good today, but her body double is going to be doing. But and when they go on interviews, because they have to fake, right? Like they're promoting a movie that they did with Simone, and they're like, oh yeah, we got along great. Simone's this, blah blah blah, and like for premieres, it's just crazy. We need to watch it. We need to watch this movie. Because it's just crazy now that I'm thinking about it. Like it goes perfectly with this. It shows exactly what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Because
I could see it.
they do interviews. And the ending is wild to this movie. And this movie was made, I just looked it up. This movie was made in 2002.
Oh wow.
But I think that's our homework. That's going to be our homework. We need to watch this. Because I will tell you, hey, Winona Ryder is in it. Is Winona Ryder Simone? No way. I don't know if she's Simone, but holy shit if she is. Right? No, I don't think she is. Huh?
I'm gonna watch it.
But I'll tell you, if you guys watch it, when you guys watch it, it's literally telling of what's happening right now. Oh, I know right, isn't it? But she's not Simone. Where could we watch it? How can I find out? Look, this is what the storyline, how it says. It says the career of a disillusioned producer who is desperate for a hit is endangered when his star walks off of the film set. Forced to think fast, the producer decides to digitally create an actress, Simone, to sub for the star, the first totally believable synthetic actress. The actress becomes an overnight sensation with a major singing career as well, and everyone thinks she's a real person. However, as Simone's fame skyrockets, he cannot bear to admit his fraud to himself or the world.
Oh man. Yeah, I could see that happening. Like I tell you, with AI blowing up as it is right now, like, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm telling you, this shit is happening right now.
Like, I'm interested to see, because I'm like, how do they get away with it? Like, how?
Or do they get away with it?
True, like, 'cause at the end of it, like, it's one of those, like, every lie comes out one way or another.
Ooh, it says it's free on Tubi, on Plex, YouTube TV. You guys have YouTube TV, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, it's done.
That's it. I'm watching this.
Alright, guys. Well, I feel like we're doing something productive and we've got homework.
Mm-hmm.
I want to invite y'all to watch our next podcast. I want to thank my beautiful podcast.
What?
Okay.
Oh my god, I've been hitting the ganja too much today.
Your little pose? Is that what you call those?
Oh my god, I don't know what I said. Thank you to my beautiful co-host, Musika and Noodles. I don't know if we've picked a topic yet for the next podcast, but stay tuned. We will be back on the next one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll see you then, guys.
Bye.
Bye.